Hello everyone and welcome to another episode on the podcast and YouTube channel, the Mr. Hayden YouTube channel and podcast. In this video, I want to be honest, I want to be raw, and I want to go into how I went from broke guy, felt like a failure, living at home, to by no means now a massive success, but certainly making progress, paying myself a good amount, businesses are doing well, businesses are growing, and high confidence, high self-belief, and things are just growing and growing. Got a beautiful girlfriend as well, I've got some great friends, etc. And just how I transitioned from that low confidence person that I wasn't happy to be into this person that I am today, who is someone that, can tackle any obstacle that comes my way, and just, seem to keep pushing forwards and making more progress as time goes on. So by no means a finished article, but I really think this video will help if I talk you through the steps that I went through. So it could be raw, it could be, hard to listen to at times, but I think it's important. So make sure you listen to the entire thing through. I think there'll be some good value for you if you're in a period in time where you don't want to be. So let me shoot you straight back to just a few years ago, because I think a lot of people assume that who I am now, I've always been this confident, I've always been this sure of myself, I've always been making this progress, and I really, really haven't. Just probably 3 years ago, if you go back to my oldest YouTube videos, you'll see that I was prepping stuff in a storage container, for my Amazon business. I was prepping that there. I was earning hardly any money. I vlogged the process as well. I was living at home with mum then. I wasn't I was single then. I was insecure, and I just wasn't a very happy person right then. I was angry because I felt like the world owed me something, and I felt like I was putting in a lot more work than I actually was, and I was sort of very ignorant. Okay, so just a few years ago, even to scroll back before that, I was chopping and changing at every single corner, trying different business models, spending multiple thousands on property courses and other courses to try and improve my life. And they sent me into I don't ever want to use the term depression, because I was by no means clinically depressed, but I was definitely in a place of my life that I wasn't happy to be. So that when you go into things in an entrepreneurial journey that are not yet aligned with your ignorance, okay? Alex Hormozy was talking about this yesterday. A lot of entrepreneurs have this ignorance bliss. They think that starting a business is going to be easy, so they get a slight bit of momentum, and then unfortunately the reality kicks in. They go down and then down again and then down again before they reach back up. Okay, and then into period 4. And period 4 is where you've understood that all the ignorance that you have in business and thinking that business is going to be easy completely goes, and you realize that the only way to actually make it work is by putting in that work that's required, putting in the years that are required, and fundamentally becoming the person that you need to become to do that, whether it's friendships failing because they're just not syncing with who you are as a person, whether it's jobs that you have to get rid of, whether it's money that you have to sacrifice, relationships. There's no skipping, unless you want to be like a con man, unless you want to be a scammer. There's no skipping that hard dive where your ignorance gets a battering, and you realize that you've got to stop paying off that ignorance. Okay, the years where you thought it was going to be easy, when in reality you just have to put in that work. I was in that sort of plateau stage down here for quite a few years. I would say I started my first business at 19. I'm 28 now. So it's 9 years I've been in business. 9 bloody years. I thought I'd be further ahead than I am. I mean, things are going well now, but I thought I was going to be in Lambos. I thought I was going to be having my 5-bed house in my mansion right now. I was ignorant. I was ignorant to what it took. Therefore, I didn't work as hard as I should have. I relaxed too much. And only 2 or 3 years ago, I had this massive reality check, probably 2 years ago, like, fuck, I've got to really put in the work right now. I've got to make this happen, or this dream that I've got is not going to happen. And by the way, guys, I was working harder than most people for that 9 years, but it still wasn't enough. Entrepreneurship takes a lot. It takes a lot, to get it going. But once the main part, so Alex Hormozzi said you got like 5 different sections. Now, I can't remember the exact different sort of segments, what they're called, but basically periods 1, 2, and 3 are being ignorant, and then understanding you're being more ignorant, not doing the work that's required until you get to stage 4, which is, okay, I've realized that the only reason that I haven't succeeded is because I thought that it was going to be easier and I need to pay off that ignorance debt. You get to stage 4, you finally start compounding, which is where I think that I am at now. And then finally you get to stage 5, which is just plain sailing. Obviously not plain sailing, but plain sailing as in like you've got enough business experience to keep it going for as long as you need to keep going. And other than the massive roadblocks that are going to come your way, as long as you can get over them, then you should be always okay. Or massively succeed. But a lot of people go in stage 3 and then shoot straight back to phase 1 because they don't fully understand this, okay? And then they don't think they've got what it takes or whatever to get to the next stage. I know people like that. And I'm not going to say any names, but I know people that have done that. They've given up on their dreams because they couldn't get over that stage 3. So my point here is that I was stuck in that stage 3, if you like, for a long time, longer than I would like to admit. As I say, it's been about 9 years until I've got to the stage where I'm at now, where I feel like we're finally making a lot of progress. Still doesn't feel as stable as I want it to be, but we're making a lot of progress right now. Everything is compounding, but in them years I felt, as I say, not clinically, but I felt depressed. I felt a lot of anxiety. It was affecting my relationships. It was affecting my personal life. But all that time, there was no other option to me but to be an entrepreneur. There was no other option but for me to keep pushing forward and keep fighting through that. The insecurities, the confidence issues, everything that I had had to keep pushing forwards. Like, just keep pushing. And it's only now that I've got to the stage that I've looked back on everything that I've ever been through in my life, in my business, like exes that I've had that have messed me around, cheated on me, whatever. I don't care. I don't hold on to any of that stuff, but it happens. Maybe the way I've treated people and then regretted it and got anxiety overthinking that stuff. Maybe things like in business where I feel like I've wasted money on the wrong mentors, the wrong courses, the wrong whatever, spent too much time on bad business models, etc. All of that stuff, when I look back now, and this is the best bit of advice that I can say to anyone that is going through this, is that time is the best healer, and time will heal many, many things. Like 99% of things, time will heal. So you've just got to kind of wait. You've just got to get through it and understand that when I look back now on everything, take it from me, everything that I've been through that has been bad or perceived as bad at the time, actually taught me these lessons to get me into the place that I'm at now. And you have to keep paying off that ignorance bliss until you get to a stage where, right, now you feel that you've got enough skills, enough experience, enough confidence, enough contacts, enough know-how, enough grit and determination, and enough resources to kind of, I'm not going to say not ever struggle again, because entrepreneurship's a constant struggle. But right now, even if I lost all of my businesses, I know that I would be able to catapult myself into a business, even if it was a service business that was just a low barrier to entry. I could catapult myself into that, and within a year, I think I'll be earning between like 5 to 8 to 10 grand a month. Personal income now. Like, if I really felt that surge of crap, I've got to get this life back that I had, So it's all teaching you them vital skills, and even if it's not the business, even if you feel like you wasted your time on the business, the relationship, whatever, you haven't, because them skills you're bringing into the present and you're catapulting yourself into the future to become whoever you want to be. Them skills never leave you. The things that you've been through, the hard times never leave you. That's what I want to get through here. So, as I say, some people talk to me now. Some people even tell me that they're going through something and they're down, and Sometimes people feel like I'm the sort of person that could listen to that and that I have empathy for them, that I can help them, and I absolutely can. But the thing is, no one can really help you but yourself. You know, sure, you can speak to therapists, sure, you can speak to whoever you want to speak to, but it can be tough. And you've just got to really deeply, truly believe that life is not happening to us, it's happening for us. And I truly, deeply believe that. You can do this for yourself right now. Look back on the last 5 years at everything that you perceived bad at that time and think to yourself how that's helped you in today, in the way that you think about stuff, in the way that you go into relationships, in the way that you go into business deals, into the way that you go into your relationships, your friendships, any matters that come up in your life. If you hadn't gone through them hard times, you wouldn't be able to get through them today. You'll be overwhelmed, you'll be thinking about it too much, you'll be stressing about it, and you wouldn't know how to handle it. Life's happening for us, not to us. And until you understand that, excuse me, it's really hard. Life can be a battle until you understand that. Time's the healer. And the way that I got through all of the things that I got through, to put it into context, guys, I've had between 50 to 100 therapy sessions in the past, counselling sessions. I don't do any now, but I used to do loads because I was going through a lot. And at one stage, I think people sort of knew me as like the mental health guy. And now I'm like the complete opposite of that, you know? Not that I don't advocate for it and want to support people, but as for me, I don't suffer with anything like that anymore because I had to understand how to deal with it and look within myself and not bury myself in alcohol or relationships. A lot of people are in bad relationships because they're scared of being alone. A lot of people are going out and getting pissed because they're scared of being alone, or doing drugs or smoking or vaping because of this lack of something that they've got in themselves that they're not willing to look into. You have to look into it. You have to spend time with yourself. Be single if you're in the wrong relationship. Only if you're in the wrong one. Don't go and break up with your girlfriend because Hayden told you to, or your boyfriend. If you're in the wrong one, it's holding you back. You need that self-exploration to understand what makes you tick, what makes you go funny, why are you getting insecure. And you have to sometimes just live in your own crap for a bit just to know what you don't want and to build your strength up. To build your strength up and learn about yourself and get that self-awareness to just get through any hard times. And that's what I did. And now I've been through that. I'm in a beautiful relationship. I've got beautiful friends. I've got beautiful family. You know, I've got businesses that I'm growing, and I'm confident that no matter what issues that come up, which they do come up all the time, I get through them because of that confidence. You just got to really become self-aware and push yourself through it. And that's absolutely what I did. So if you've ever enjoyed a bit of my content, I'll just appreciate it if you went to the Mr. Hayden podcast right now on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and went and subscribed to it and left a review. That'd be really cool. And also, if you're on YouTube, if you hit the subscribe button and like this video, then I'll really appreciate that. Guys, I'll see you in the next video.